All right, everyone, how's it going? Adam Kayce here with the Home Designer Remodeling Shows. I'm excited for today. I'm going to be speaking with Cristian from the Wallpaper Station, and we're going to be talking about everything about how wallpaper is manufactured, what is the design process, the installation process, and how it can truly transform my home. So, couldn't be more excited to have you all joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Cristian, how
Hello.
are you?
Good, good. How are you, Adam?
Good, good. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. I know there's a lot of info. Like I
So,
could talk for
uh,
days.
so I know, seriously. And the thing is, it's like wallpaper. Everyone, for years, people were thinking about how do I get rid of this
They
wallpaper?
wrote
And
it off.
now,
Yeah, they wrote it off
exactly,
completely. We're
wallpaper
back.
is the trend. Exactly, it's back and it's here to stay.
Yeah,
But more
it
so than
is.
anything, which I'm excited to get into today, is wallpaper comes in so many different styles, designs, textures, everything. So we won't get into that yet,
Mm-hmm.
but take a moment, tell me about you, tell us about the Wallpaper Station, and let's start off there.
All right, thank you. So the Wallpaper Station. I'm very, very proud of my company and what I've done in the time frame that I've done it. My history, I come from JCC and guys. My father and brother are running that in the Broward, West Palm Beach area. They go to Miami-Dade as well. They focus more on just installation. So that's kind of
Okay.
my background, right? A lot of project management, a lot of like nitty gritty in the field, like knowing exactly precision and that. But being the person that I am, I like to explore more and get to know in depth of the products. So with the Wallpaper Station,
Right.
I created something where we were making these substrates, we were making the materials that we'd be installing, right? And part of the designs,
Right.
so kind of like our hands are a little bit in everything. And that's very, very unique in the world of wallpaper. If you look at any other company like side by side, they don't do that. They don't get their hands
Right.
in the fabrication process, or they only sell, or they only design it. There's curators specifically for that, or they just install. So to have such a diverse company
Right.
that can
Absolutely.
do so many functions within this is awesome.
And the best thing is, obviously, you understand everything that obviously not only goes into installation, but what goes into the wallpaper itself. So you know how to install it best, how to work with it. So that's that.
Exactly.
I mean, that in itself is impressive. But take a moment because I know I can't say I know much about wallpaper. I know that I like it, and I know
Uh-huh.
that it's beautiful and it's incorporated in design like no other. But
Right.
tell us about how wallpaper is made. Tell us a little bit about the fabrication process.
Okay. That let me take a sip because that's gonna take some talking.
Right?
Right.
Is it happy
Okay.
hour?
No, no, this is just Pellegrino or Perrier, sorry. So just for the thirst
Gotcha.
quenching. All right, so the fabrication of the papers, a lot of times before we start that process, we have to understand like what the client is looking for, right? And that's like
Yep.
specific to what they're using this paper for. It could be on a wall, it could be on a metal surface, it could be on a plastic surface, on windows, it could be
Oh,
on
wow.
wood. Like the where they're installing it is very important as well before we get to like which one you should use. Um,
Okay.
there's vinyl options, there's paperback options, there's woven, non-woven papers as well. And nowadays, there's really, really amazing products out there that a lot of people don't know yet, and a lot of people in our industry, in the design industry, that haven't gotten the opportunity to use these materials yet. But they're like fiber optic, where
Right.
you can't really
Oh,
like
wow.
mess with them, and you can use them in shower systems. You can use them in the ceiling, on the floor. So it's like really beauty and technology in the world of wall coverings, right? So before
That's
like
incredible.
even getting to that point, knowing your paper, like knowing what substrate is it's called the material you're going to use for the installation.
Yep.
If it's like, is it going to bend? Do we need it to bend? Do we need it to go around corners? Is it something that's going to be very intricate? Because maybe that's not your best option. Maybe we'll go to the paperback. Is it in a bathroom
Right.
though? Maybe we'll use a paper, but that's breathable. So the options are
Okay.
all there. So selecting which substrate first, that's like knowing how it's going to be adapted to the situation. Then the design, the texture, and all that kind of come after.
Right.
And you can really understand like what it's going to look like through either images or renderings, and you can kind of appreciate it that way.
Right. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, when looking at all of these different textures and substrates and everything that goes into it, I mean, obviously picking choosing the right professional that's going to be doing the installation, helping, really select the right product. What are the steps that you take when, specifically, like when it comes to certain areas or certain size rooms, or, what type of tips can you give us, that a true professional takes on when it comes to selecting, the right product?
The wallpapers. Okay. Number one, the substrate, right? If we're talking about an accent wall, a lot of the times the
Yep.
substrate itself may not make the biggest impact because it's just a flat surface. But
Okay.
knowing which product,
Right.
then we go to the color combination. And this, in unison with your designer, we can work very, very closely. And we love to do it because honestly, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. They understand color. Like the concept
Right.
of color is super important because there's hues. These hues are undertones in the color blue, in the color, green. So like, let's say if we selected any
Okay.
blue and you may just see a blue, but with a designer, with ourselves, we see a blue, but it has an undertone of like, of a mauve or like a violet, and that can change the design completely. So we have to be
Right.
very careful in our selections of the colors that are going to be combined with this paper. So if we're talking about the accent wall and we
Okay.
look at it and we say, we're going to do a cream base throughout. So the colors are toned down. But then when you start talking about the materials, then you can start using maybe something similar to like that undertone, and that may tie into like this light tan or light cream color, so that
Absolutely.
it's cohesive. It reads well. It's inviting, and then you get into more, like deeper thought where you incorporate the furniture, you can incorporate other pieces, artwork and things like that. But at least you have
Right.
your base, and your base is you're good,
Right. Absolutely.
So
And
I
the thing
think
is
color
durability, because
is,
you mentioned,
yeah.
okay, color. Yep.
Yeah, color is super important. After the color is now, are you thinking of texture or a design? Like, do you want a geometric figure? Do you want a damask? Do you want just textures? Do you want a combination? Are you looking for something that has like a 3D kind of effect, but you still want to see like the old school damask, or maybe something really psychedelic, very like kaleidoscope?
Yep.
And we're basically able to provide what, that's the only limit.
Okay. Well, I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah,
So,
I think there's a loading.
obviously when it comes to the material itself, and I know that you mentioned that you can put it on wood, you can put it on metal, you can, really wherever it's being installed is going to dictate, as far as what material is best for that area. But,
Correct.
say if it's something for wood, because obviously durability is a huge thing, or say if you're
Mm-hmm.
putting it on a piece of furniture or something that's actually used,
Mm-hmm.
what type of materials are out there where, I mean, are they, you more durable in the sense where they won't get nicked or scraped or, damaged in ways, or?
No, beautiful question. Beautiful question. Because that you open up a can of worms with just trying to do something when you're not sure what to use, right?
Right, exactly.
Vinyls are typically known to be a more durable product,
Okay.
but vinyls aren't necessarily something that can wrap around. Let's say like a piece of furniture, I think is a great idea. Because you can take an older piece of your like furniture, you can refurbish it, you can paint it, and then on the face of it, just do a beautiful wall covering, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
if you did a vinyl, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be durable, but it's
Okay.
not gonna wrap. And then if you have that eye, that keen eye, and you're looking for those details, it might not give you the result that you wanted.
Right.
So you could do a paperback, which allows it's form fitting, right? It'll form to the area around it,
Right.
and you can really use a specialty adhesive to put it on, and maybe just put a top coat on this top coat. That'll give you that protection layer.
Okay. So that's the thing, and most people would not even
They wouldn't play with it, no?
assume or even think of putting on furniture. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a great idea, and especially today. I mean, refurbishing furniture, and
Furniture is it's a beautiful thing. That's actually one of my like favorite things to do. I love doing it, especially with like an old vintage piece and just bringing
right,
it back to life. Whether it's like you removing the stain, restaining it,
right,
uh, the combination of color and texture. Maybe that top will put like a silver leaf, give it a
Yep.
nice stain throughout the rest of it. And then the front, you could do something like a wall covering, you know?
Without a doubt. And the thing is, it's like, so when you're applying these products,
Mhm.
what does the prep look like? Whether it's a wall or if it's a piece of furniture or metal, whatever it might be. I assume
Mhm.
the prep might be a little bit different here and there, but give us what can we expect when it comes to prepping and really installing the product?
That's another good one because a lot of people think that you can just put paper on top of whatever surface and it's
Right,
going to hide
exactly.
everything and solve all your problems.
And there's also
Um,
people out there that have textured walls or
yeah,
or textured ceilings or whatever it might be. So,
it
you
happens
know,
all the time,
yeah.
all the time. So normally the preparation, you have to have smooth walls, right?
Okay.
These smooth walls have to be primed. At one point, they needed to be primed. If they haven't been primed yet, they will be primed.
Right.
Either it be with an adhesive or I'm sorry, a primer that's specific to paper or one that's latex, that's kind of like a normal one.
Right.
If it's a very, very difficult material like metal, like plastic or acrylic, then we're gonna skip all that and do a very, very specific primer.
Okay.
And depending on which one it is, it all varies a little bit, but a specialty primer. And then you can continue with the rest of the steps as the adhesive, the installation of the paper. But
Right.
preparing the walls is super, super important. Making sure that they're smooth is very important.
Okay.
One of the beautiful parts, right, that I love about my company is that we're able to do all of these functions.
Right.
So a lot of times, either it be a professional like a designer, an architect, a developer, or a normal homeowner that's trying to take on this project,
Right.
they all need the same thing. We have to make sure that the level of the wall is okay to install, right?
Okay.
And that the installation process is going to go smoothly. So for that to happen, we either have to skin the wall if they do have texture.
Right.
We have to prime it. Maybe we can use a liner that can go behind the paper, which is like a wallpaper behind the paper to give you a smooth finish.
Right.
Um, but that I only use for specific products.
Gotcha. Gotcha. What would you say as far as ceilings? Because I know that, applications can be in any way. And I was actually, when we were talking earlier, and I was thinking, ceilings, I mean, it's a great application for it, especially like if they have coffered ceiling or something like
Hmm.
that. I mean, adding these details, these designer details, because the biggest thing when it comes to homeowners is just because somebody wants a designer look, it doesn't necessarily have to come with a cost. And there's a lot of tips and tricks and ways to
Of
be able to
course,
accomplish that. And wallpaper,
it's
is one
definitely a
of those
statement.
ways. Yeah.
100%. And there's so many ways to use wallpaper to achieve these functions, these designer looks, these really gorgeous, gorgeous products at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Ceilings specifically are much difficult, like installation process. It's
I would
not the
assume.
same thing.
Right.
You're working against gravity.
Right.
You're putting, on a normal piece, it's about like 3 yards. On the ceiling, you would see this whole 15 to 20 foot strip is a 20 foot strip,
Right.
so it's
Exactly.
a lot to take on. So before we get to that installation part, it's knowing who you're working with, knowing that they
Exactly.
can take on that job. We've come to that situation where we're literally walking in
Right.
and see the effects of somebody tried, did not succeed, and now it's more of a headache for the client because
Right.
there's a removal process, there's a repair process, and then you can get back to installation. So
Right.
make sure that your whoever you're contracting to do the work is able to do that work. And if, like, for a philosophy that's within the company and like me, my team, my clients, is like
Right.
trust. It's the most important thing. Without that, you really can't do much. So you have to know what we're capable of and what you're wanting and knowing, and like you just have to have that fluid communication because
Absolutely.
there's no winning in not being like upfront about everything.
Right. No, you're right. And the thing is, it's like, so anything that has to do with a home, there's no such thing as an easy project.
Yeah.
Things go right, things go
Hmm.
wrong. A lot of
All the
times they
time.
go wrong, but it's a matter of what the professional does to fix it and get beyond it. But tell me one thing, because this is going to help a lot of the homeowners out there. What are
Okay.
the best questions that a homeowner should ask when they're looking to hire, a wallpaper professional? Are there certain questions that will kind of indicate whether they're the right fit or they really truly know the proper installation?
I think Good questions. This is a beautiful question, actually. So for everybody that's listening, like jot it down. If you're trying to find a contractor specific to wall coverings and you want to know if they know what they're talking about,
Right.
ask them what materials they've installed. If they come back to
Great
you
point.
with just the paper, wallpaper, then it's probably not, either they haven't been doing it long enough or they don't know truly. Because
Right.
if they know wallpaper, right, it's no longer just paper.
Right.
It's the
Exactly.
veneers, it's the vinyl, it's the woven, the non-woven, it's all these different things. Um, Ask them if they have a table to trim, what kind
Okay.
of table they use for trimming.
Okay.
Do they use machines? Because there are wall covering machines to paste. And that usually is reserved for a little bit bigger of a project because you don't
Right.
necessarily need it all the time. And if they're insured, and like, certified to be working, because it's a scary place to be, when you
Yeah.
have a problem and they're not able to back it up.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is, especially with contracting, you want to know that, whoever's in your home, that they're truly in business.
Hmm.
Just because someone has a business name and they've done some installations, doesn't matter what the project is, doesn't mean that they're truly in business. And if they,
Yep,
insurance, it's one of the most important things, and that
it
will,
is.
yeah,
100%.
put them
And
in
if you're
great.
dealing with a professional, they'll
Yeah.
happily give it to you. It's not something that you want to like. Me and my company, like, we don't. There's no reason to like not give it. As a
Right.
homeowner,
Exactly.
you have the ability to say, "Awesome, I want to do this project with you. Can you
Right.
provide your certificate of insurance so that way we can go ahead?"
Exactly.
Done
Yeah.
deal. Done deal.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That's a great point. So, as far as wallpaper and design and everything, something that I was thinking about is, just because somebody, they might not be fully understanding, or they might not
Mm-hmm.
want to do an entire room or entire home, but it's
Sure.
the perfect chance to be able to make a wall special. And it does, it's wallpaper and wall coverings have come so far. It's not necessarily, a
Yeah.
stone stacked,
Mm-hmm.
installation behind a television or on a wall unit or on an accent
100%.
wall. I mean, tell us a little bit more about the variety of natural type of finishes that people can get.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So on the natural side, it
Yeah.
comes. There's so many like degrees to nature, right? You have
Okay.
the botanical feel, which you can
Okay.
get through a print, right? A mural.
Right.
These days, a lot of times, like the repeat pattern is still being used, but
Right.
because paper continues to get evolving, like it continues to evolve, we're doing more mural installations. So
Right.
versus just a leaf repeating itself 20 times, you have a whole landscape of all these beautiful leaves, these botanical things kind of coming from the top, from the bottom, that give you that feeling.
Right.
The materials themselves, now let's put that one to the side. So that's murals, right?
Yep.
Physical products, a lot of textured items like mica that
Okay.
have a pearlescent or a shiny or metallic feel to them. So
Yep.
they still have like that pearl-like feeling,
Yep.
without it actually being pearl. There are specific ones like mother of pearl, which is a true shell, right?
Right.
That become packaged in tiles. So now these are installed that way, and you have seashells on your wall. You
Wow.
have
It's incredible.
pearlescent seashells, really, really gorgeous
And
materials,
it is the actual product.
and it's the actual product. Yeah, like
Wow.
that's what's coming. That's like what you're paying for is the actual thing.
That's amazing.
Um, there's imitations of granite
Yep.
that they come textured, usually a little bit more muted, a little bit more lighter in shine, but they'll have like degrees and gradients of like pinpoint particles, I guess you could call it, of a shine or a different kind of stone
Okay.
throughout, so that it gives it like variety. There's wood veneers, there's wood imitation on a paper or on a vinyl. Um, there's skins, so imitation, crocodile imitation, snake skin, all these things can be
Right.
produced. So you have the world to choose from as far as like textures, and like literally
Yeah.
you could sit for days
It's
looking at
incredible
them.
how far wall coverings has come. I mean, it's
Hmm.
absolutely incredible. So, when looking at wall coverings, and also, if anyone that's watching has any questions, don't hesitate to plug in a question. But so you've been doing this for a long time.
Hmm.
What's one of the craziest requests, or that is one part of the question, and what
Okay.
is, if you have one, what is your favorite project you've done to date?
Okay, craziest request, I would say is just being able to put the paper in like everywhere,
Yep.
like flooring, and this is in a time where it wasn't able to be done. We could do
Right.
everything but the floor.
Right.
So that's what we did, and then we did like an imitation like stencil on the floor so that it
Okay.
could mimic the wallpaper. But I would say that was kind of like the wildest one at that time
Right.
because it was like everything. They want everything, everything,
Right.
the cabinet systems, the walls, and now this is a print, so you have to be really careful of where
Were
you
they
put the
wearing the same
pieces.
print too? So if they stood against the wall, they blended in?
Yeah, no, I guess so. I mean,
Right?
I'm sure they probably did at one point. They may have not said it,
Right.
but I'm sure
Yeah.
they did. But that would be probably one of the wildest ones. I would say the second one would be this giant bolted ceiling that we did.
Okay.
And we're talking like a 50-foot span with
Wow.
a probably like 15 to 20 foot like circumference, but
Yep.
it's more like an oval shape, not necessarily a perfect circle. So it was just a massive beast to really commit to. And that just shows you that you're able to do these beautiful works with the proper teams. You know,
Right.
that's
Exactly.
important. And that's one of the things that again I really hold true is that with us, like we're not going to abandon you after you buy the paper. You
Right.
know, I'm not going to say like, hey, have this beautiful paper and this is the amount, you know, bye, you know,
Right.
go luck with your installer.
Right.
Like I can't do that. I couldn't do that. That's not my business. I want to make sure that they know what they're getting,
Right.
that they understand it, and we're here for them to the final.
Right.
Well, like through
Exactly.
all the good and the bad, you know, like
Yeah.
we'll get through it. So that's like my philosophy on like making sure that we get there to the end.
Right.
And then let's see. Now, what was wait, the other question was the craziest one,
Your
right? Or
favorite
my
project to
favorite one.
date? Yeah.
Favorite project to date. We did a Harry Potter inspired
Wow.
home, right? It was in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And that one was just like wild. It was just
Right.
wild. Like so like the staircase, like think of Harry Potter and you're walking up the staircases and they're
Everything.
moving, that same kind of feel.
Wow.
So that was just like a beautiful thing to be a part of and
Right.
to be able to execute at that level because like we're talking like top tier.
Yeah.
There's no messing around. This is like we're making sure everything goes smoothly. The progression of how the project is being handled is very important as well because
Right.
it's a domino
Exactly.
effect. If you like, you know, take out a piece out, it's gonna mess everything up. So you have to know what you're doing.
Without a doubt. And you know, as far we've talked about a lot today, and
Mhm.
again, like if anybody has questions, please ask. But is there anything specific in regards to wall coverings that we haven't touched on today that you would really like to kind of, you know, bring up in any way?
Yeah. Okay. So one in the world of design, right? And
Right.
this goes to everybody. I mean, honestly, to my designers that I work very closely with, these are opportunities that I know that I see that we can do something a little cooler.
Right.
That's budget friendly sometimes. Same thing for the homeowners. Like if you have these ideas and maybe you're unable to execute it because of cost and budgeting, like
Right.
firstly, like wallpaper isn't the cheap way out. It's
Right.
definitely not.
Right.
But at the same time, having an option to do something really beautiful at a budgeted price, you can do it. You just got to know how.
Yeah.
Closet systems. Normally, you get closet systems, and they can cost you thousands of dollars. And
Right.
because you're buying everything, you're buying the framework, the interior portions, the front, the doors, maybe depending on what the closet system is actually looking like.
Right.
But deducting like the back part of it because it's something that's not really used and using wall coverings or wallpaper as your backdrop for this closet system
Yeah.
is a beautiful idea. It makes it look amazing. It's seamless, right?
Right.
And you can put anything on top of it and it looks pristine,
That's a
you
great
know?
point. Absolutely. Because people can start using it as like even room dividers and things like that. You
Yeah,
know, if something
100%.
has an ugly backside, they can upgrade it and make it whatever they want. Um,
100%.
and it's actually funny. So I know Snyder of Hollywood. They're actually tuned in on this conversation. They just commented a little bit ago, but I was having a long conversation with them the other day, and exactly what you just said was so important as far as what they mentioned as well, because it truly comes down to the professional
Hmm.
and what they know. Because if homeowners don't really know what they want, they
They
have a
don't, no.
budget. They
Hmm.
have a budget. They don't know what they want or how to get it. in
Yeah.
working with the right professional, it's not just about selling the highest ticket
Yeah.
item. It's
Mm-mm.
about
What
making
works for
sure
them?
that the client is getting what they want, and you know more about the product than anybody else. So
Yeah.
you know how to achieve those looks to fit their budget. So that, more so than anything, all the other points as far as why hire a professional
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be more true, because the pros know best and they know how to achieve the look that someone's looking for, that ultimately would just take a lot of research and trial and error, actually, which could be more expensive because they're going to
It
find
could be
out.
very expensive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
It's very true. It's more expensive to go cheap,
right,
and I see it over and over. So like it pains me to watch it so much,
right,
because it's like,
yeah.
just call the first time.
Yeah, no, you do it right the first
Yeah.
time, and don't skip steps. I mean, that's the
Don't.
biggest thing. And I work with so many different home design and home improvement professionals, and I hear a lot from the industry, and even friends that call me, like people that try to skip steps. I always warn them. I mean, it always will come back in some way where there's
Hmm.
something that you're not thinking about because you're not a pro. Hire the pros, let them
Exactly.
tell them what you're looking to achieve, and
A
let
hundred
them
percent.
walk you through it. So I appreciate you bringing that up because it couldn't be more true.
A hundred
Um,
percent. So yeah,
so
those closet systems for sure, I think are something that
that's a really good
everybody
idea.
can kind of look at. Everybody from like California Closets, Snyder, I believe, as well, as doing closets. Correct?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would
And
actually be a great company for you to link up with if you don't know them already.
well, hello, Snyder. Now we know each other.
There you go. See,
But
this is
yeah,
all
I
about
think
networking and bringing businesses together as well.
always. I mean, at the end of the day, it's our network, it's our industry.
Right.
The clients are the same ones, whether they
Exactly.
went to you, to me, to them. Like it's the same client.
Right.
It's kind of how I picture it, because it's just like a team-based effort. We just got to tackle it,
Right.
and then go from there.
100%. So, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up today, or?
The closet systems, furniture pieces, I think we hit on a little bit. It's a
Yes,
good
that was a great
option
idea as
to
well.
even like, you did an accent wall, right?
Yep.
You finished your accent wall, and a lot of times you have remnants. These remnants you can use. Like,
Right.
there's a bunch of ways you could use them. I've used them as coasters.
Okay.
Depending
Great
on what
idea.
you're
Yeah.
thinking of like doing, have your installer, paste them, put them together, and cut them
Yep.
perfectly so that way they're coasters. Uh, Placemats, furniture pieces where you can put it on, just like, let's say that same piece that's in front of the accent wall with the wall covering. Maybe you
Right.
just do like two little accent pieces on that piece so it ties it together.
Absolutely.
Those are little things that you can do that go a long way.
That's a great point. And everybody, if you're not following Cristian already, make sure you check him out at the Wallpaper Station.
Hmm.
But you can check out all of his work. You do incredible work. One thing that
Thank
I've
you, thank
learned
you,
today is you're beyond capable. You really are setting the bar and setting the standard for what the
thank you,
industry
thank you.
should be
Appreciate it.
doing. So, but no, it's important to us. And obviously, as far as the home design and remodeling show, our goal is to bring the pros together with other professionals, but obviously
Hmm.
homeowners as well, because education is key. Do your homework first and learn from the best. So,
Agreed,
um,
agreed.
so if there's not anything else that you want to cover today, everyone can always reach out to you personally on your page, the Wallpaper Station. Check out the website.
Hmm.
Um, we're always here to support the industry and homeowners, inspire, educate, and the Home Design and Remodeling Show is South Florida's largest community of home design and home improvement. So if you're not following us already at FL Home Shows, you can always check out our website at homeshows.net. And Cristian, one last thing. Any plans for
Um,
4th of July weekend? You're gonna relax?
oh no, I mean, the plans are there. The execution,
Yeah,
you really can't. No beaches right
exactly.
now, so it's like kind of sad. We're
Yeah,
planning on going like on a boat trip with some friends, but then it's just gonna be crazy and wild. So I think
yeah.
it's just gonna be more of a relaxed 4th of July.
Everyone needs to be safe. Take it
Yeah.
seriously.
Hmm.
But we can only control ourselves. But until next time, Cristian, we'll definitely hop on here again. And
Sounds good.
I'm looking to learn more. Share all your projects with us because we love seeing all the updates.
All right. Take
All
care,
right.
Adam.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
All right. Bye.
Bye.